guys, it's Kyra, and today I want to discuss series that I will start and finish this year. At least I'm hoping to start and finish this year. And I have 10 series on my list, so let's go. So at number 10 I have the Heroes of Olympus series. I love Rick Riordan's writing. He's the author that got me into reading, and I absolutely adore the Percy Jackson series, especially the third and the fifth book. They were just, they were fantastic. But the Heroes of Olympus series, I came up to the Mark of Athena, and then when House of Hades was published, I just didn't want to know what happened, because the ending of the Mark of Athena was just wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I did start it. I read about 100 pages. I made sure that some stuff didn't happen, and then I was like, you know what, I don't want to know if something terrible happens, so I just left them. And so I need to only read the House of Hades and the Blood of Olympus. I did read the other 3 books in the series, and I think that I will get through this one really fast because I love Rick Riordan's writing. It's always very funny and just lovely, and especially in the Percy Jackson series, because it's in first person, it's just so sarcastic and wonderful. So I'm pretty sure that I will get to this series soon. At number 9 I've got the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children trilogy. The last book in this series did come out last year, and I know that a lot of people who have read it have loved this trilogy, and it does sound very interesting. I started the book before, but I wasn't really in the mood to read something like that, so I just kind of left it, and I want to get to it. I want to finish the whole trilogy. I do have Hollow City too. I didn't buy the Library of Souls, I believe is the name of the third book. Yeah, the Library of Souls. I didn't buy that one yet, but I'm sure I will. I actually was so pumped up to read this trilogy because of Jesse the Reader. It's one of his favourite trilogies, and he keeps on saying, read this book, and I kind of, it made me want to read this trilogy. So this is number 9 on my series to finish list this year. At number 8 I have a series that I have been wanting to read since forever, and that is the Twilight Saga. I want to get to read these books. Last year Life and Death came out, and this is kind of that edition. I do have Life and Death too, and I just want to get through with these books and see what everyone loves about them. I mean, some people hate this book. A lot of people in my class hate this book, but some people absolutely adore this book, and I kind of want to know for myself. I did watch the movies, but there are so many different examples of movie adaptations where they don't do the book any justice. The movies are terrible, or the movies aren't as good, and the books are fantastic. So I do want to get to read the book and see for myself if I like this book or not. So for the next series, I don't actually own a copy right now, but it's the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I really want to get to read that book, that series in general. I know that it's fairy tale retellings, like the first book is Cinder, it's a Cinderella retelling in the future with cyborgs, and it just sounds really interesting. And I haven't read it yet, and winter just came out last December, so I really want to get to read this quartet. Yeah, it's 4 books, so it's a quartet, but then you've got Fairest, still it's a quartet I believe. And I really want to get to read that series. It sounds really interesting, and just it sounds beautiful. I love retellings, especially fairy tale retellings, and it sounds like something I would definitely enjoy. Next I've got the Darkest Minds trilogy by Alexandra Bracken. I actually started this trilogy. I am about halfway through with the book. So far it's okay. It's good. It's a nice start to a trilogy, and sometimes The first book I don't like as much, the second book I really enjoy, and the third book's just fantastic. That happens to be the case with most dystopian trilogies. So I am willing to give this trilogy a try, and I'm really interested about what it's about. And I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I was checking The Darkest Minds on Google and Tumblr and just everywhere, and apparently it's been optioned for a movie, and it's going to be a movie this November or something. I'm not sure if that's true, but that'd be so cool if it was, and I would have just recently finished the trilogy, and you know, all my memory about it would be fresh, and to get to watch the movie would be really cool, and it would be a nice movie. I really enjoy the concept of this book, and so I do want to read this trilogy. At number 5, I've got the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I have read City of Bones. I read it last year, at the end of last year, and I enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love it. But still, it's the first book, and in the first book you usually need to introduce us to the world, and so I tend to not enjoy the first book as much as the other books in the series. So for a first book it was really good, and I do have City of Ashes with me. I don't have the other books in the series yet, so if I enjoy this I will go ahead, buy City of Glass and read the rest of the series. I'm excited for this, especially because the TV show just came out. It premiered January 12th, and I want to be able to watch the TV show, and so I kind of made a deal with myself. Unless I finish this series, I cannot watch the TV show, and I'm dying to watch the TV show, so I'll probably get to this very soon. Number 4, I don't have a copy of it with me yet, but it's the Infernal Devices series. It's a trilogy, and it kind of goes along with the Mortal Instruments. I believe it's about the ancestors of the characters in the Mortal Instruments or something like that. I'm not quite sure. And it's, again, it has demons, and everyone adores the love triangle in that book. It's apparently a fantastic love triangle, and it's very well done, and I love a good love triangle, so I will probably be getting to that trilogy soon. I did enjoy Cassandra Clare's writing in City of Bones, so I'm really interested to see what everyone loves so much about Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices. At number 3, I have a series that most people have read, and that's the Harry Potter books, the Harry Potter series. I did read the first 3 books of this series. In fact, I read the 3rd book, was the first book I read this year, and I'm really enjoying the books, and I have the 4th and the 5th book, so I will be getting to this very soon. I am hoping to finish this before summer holidays, hopefully, like a book a month or something like that. I will get to this very, very soon, and I just want to be able to say that I have read the Harry Potter books. Also, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is a J.K. Rowling book, and it's coming out this November. So I also want to read the Hogwarts Library books. So, you know, just Harry Potter and wizardry books that J.K. Rowling wrote. I want to read these books. At number 2, I've got a trilogy that so many people love, and I absolutely have no idea what happens in this trilogy. I am very good at avoiding spoilers, so I still don't know what happens at the end or what happens in the middle, or I just know the concept, and that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I have not read this trilogy yet, and Mockingjay Part 2 already came out. I had already made myself a challenge when the books first came out. In fact, the head teacher of our school was like, read this trilogy, it's really good, and all my friends had read it, and I was like, I'm gonna read this book, I'm gonna read this trilogy, and I'm gonna be able to talk about it. But I have not watched the movies or read the books because I didn't want to spoil myself for the books, so I just kept on saying I'll read them and then get to watch the movies, and I need to finish this trilogy soon because I'm dying to know what happens, and like everyone enjoys this trilogy, so I want to know what everyone enjoys so much. And I believe there is a love triangle in this trilogy. I'm not sure if it's a main plot, I don't think it is, and it's basically the Hunger Games. I believe it's, I'm not sure if this is right, but it is this like different districts, and they every year fight for till the death or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but it sounds really interesting, and I want to get to read this trilogy soon. Number 1 on my list, I'm planning on finishing this trilogy before the last movie comes out, and that is Divergent by Veronica Roth. I have not read this series, I have not read this trilogy or for the companion novel, and I want to read all of the books before Allegiant comes out as a movie, and it sounds like a doable thing, it sounds achievable, so I really want to get to know why so many people love the books. I was actually reading this book. I did start Divergent before, but then when I was up to like page 100, my friend was like, "Oh my god, do you know what happened in Allegiant?" And I was like, "Don't tell me, I'm reading Divergent." And I found out the ending, and not everything about the ending, but you know, it was a very well-known spoiler. I couldn't avoid it, and I was spoiled for it, and it just didn't become a number 1 priority for me to read after that, and I just left it. So I want to get to finish this trilogy. So those are all the series that I want to start and finish this year. Some I already have started, and it seems like an achievable thing to do, and there's so many books. When you look at them all together, it's so intimidating. Just so many books, but it does look achievable. Like when you look at it, I have a whole year to read them, so it is achievable, I think, and hopefully I will get to them. So that's it for this video. Bye bye for now. See you next time.